The Sagittarius full moon is quite possibly the most auspicious full moon of the year. I know a lot of people were saying that the Taurus new moon that happened earlier in the month was the luckiest new moon of the year. Well, I'm going to make the bold claim that this is the luckiest full moon of the year. And this full moon feels like this final integration point of all of the lessons we've been learning from the North Node being in Aries when it comes to embodying our truth, when it comes to embodying our sense of self. And I'm really excited about this full moon because I feel like this is going to be a turning point for a lot of people. So, why did I make such a bold claim? Well, we have two of the most benefic, lucky planets joining forces and hanging out at this full moon. We have Venus. Venus is the planet of pleasure, of beauty, of relationships, of our self worth, of receiving, and just all the juicy goodness that comes with like sweet treats and luxury and all of those things, coming to join forces with Jupiter, the planet of luck, growth, expansion, blessings, the higher mind, higher learning, our belief systems. And with Venus ruling self worth and Jupiter ruling our belief systems, and then being in the sign of Taurus, I almost feel like this full moon is a culmination point of all of the work we've put in to hone in who we are, to figure out our gifts and to own our truth because Jupiter is about truth. With the North Node in Aries, it's almost like we've been slowly carving away at everything that's not us. It's like we've been chipping away at all of these things we've learned from society, like the society conditioning of the white picket fence and the three dogs and being married and the beautiful house. Like, this is all societal conditioning. And I feel like since the North Node moved into Aries, we've been really tapping into what is true for me versus what did I think was true for me, but it's what society had been programming me to think I wanted, when really this is what I truly want. This full moon is a culmination point from the new moon intentions we set at the Sagittarius new moon in December. So I want you to think back to December. The new moon was on December 12th. So I want you to think, what was going on in your life around December 12th, 2023? What intentions did you set? And how have those intentions shaped, evolved, grown over the last 6 months? Because it's almost like we're reaping the fruits of that initial intention, of that initial set point. We're harvesting all of the experiences we've had since that new moon. And back at that new moon, when the new moon was in Sagittarius, Venus was actually opposite that new moon. And it's almost like we were yearning for something good. We were yearning to make money in this new way. We were yearning to move our life forward in this more pleasurable way that's more aligned with our values, but we weren't exactly there yet. So it's almost like at the new moon in Sagittarius back in December, we yearned for these things. And so we set intentions for them. We started taking actions on them. And now it's all been playing out over the 6 months. Now we also have Venus and Jupiter opposite the moon, but this time they're hanging out with the sun. And what happens at a full moon is, we all know a full moon occurs when the sun is opposite the moon. It's like this releasing point. This illumination of something then helps us build up the emotional tension and release it into the ethers so that we can move forward and continue to manifest. It's an important part of every manifestation, right? You set seeds, you put the work in, you eventually get to this point where you need to release an old belief, release an old way of doing things in order to move forward in this new way and to continue to cultivate this manifestation. And that's why I feel like this full moon is actually really, really lucky. This full moon feels like an activation of that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had happen in April, which was the launching point of setting us up for the next 14 years for gaining luck and abundance in a really futuristic, out of the box way. And with Venus in Taurus coming to conjunct Jupiter and activating that Jupiter, it's almost like an activation of that luck. And if we're going to go forward over the next 14 years and cultivate this new way of looking at money, of looking at abundance, of looking at our values, of looking at the food we feed ourselves and how we want to nourish ourselves. It's almost like we need to go through several mindset shifts in order to evolve along that path. And this full moon feels like one of those mindset shifts. And it feels like actually a really big, auspicious mindset shift. The reason I say this is because this full moon not only has those two most benefic planets facing the moon, looking at the moon, and being lit up by the sun, being illuminated. It's almost like we're seeing the goodness and it's helping us release our past because the moon can represent the past. So it's almost helping us release our past history, release our past belief system, and think in a new way. Think in a way that's more in alignment with our new truth and our new values. And with the sun, in a trine to Pluto, it's like we're going through a deep transformation when it comes to how we think, a deep transformation when it comes to the things that we want to learn, how we communicate, how we share information. With Pluto in Aquarius and the sun in Gemini creating that exact trine at 2 degrees, which is the Taurus degree, funny enough. And the two benefic planets are in Taurus. So we have all of this Taurus energy going on, right? And so I feel like we're almost at this culmination point at this full moon where we've had a lot of experiences in understanding our worth, understanding what we really want. And we're transforming our thinking at this full moon in a really deep way to reorient towards bettering humanity, towards coming together as a collective, towards more of those Aquarian type themes of thinking outside of the box, of being there for one another, of unity, of humanitarianism. And I feel as though we're starting to recognize our value actually comes from what sets us apart. And at this full moon with Pluto and Aquarius, it's like we're all going through this collective transformation of owning our unique gifts. I really feel like this full moon is about reaping material rewards from spiritual growth that we've had since the last new moon. And what's so hilarious about this is when I was preparing to do this video and I was looking at the astrology, and then I was doing my thing of, okay, now I'm going to tune into the energy and I'm going to pull cards. And the card I pulled, I don't know if you can see it, if it's going to show up here. Oh, you can kind of see it. It's Material Harvest. And what this card looks like to me is, you see there's this sun shining through. And what the sun can represent is, if I think about what the sun represents within us, the sun represents our solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is called the solar plexus because it represents our sun. It's the sun within our chakra system. It is our confidence. It is our self-worth. It can be very much related to the zodiac sign of Taurus, where these two benefic planets lie. And so when I think of our solar plexus chakra is our confidence that we radiate to the world. It's our gifts that we radiate to the world. A lot of us have closed down solar plexus chakras because we felt like it wasn't safe to be us. It wasn't safe to shine. It's not safe to own our gifts. Our gifts were not cultivated based on who we were. Our gifts were kind of forced upon us, or not even gifts were forced upon us. It's almost like throughout human history, we've been forced into being certain people. Like we've been shaped in a certain way, right? Like you've been forced to go to school, for example, a government run school, and the government run school is going to teach you certain things in order to train your brain in a certain way. We were kind of trained in school to think from our left brain, and we weren't really trained to go into our right brain. We weren't trained to use both sides of our brain. And because we've all been cultivated in the same way, we haven't been cultivated based on our own gifts. And so our gifts have been shut down. Our gifts have been silenced. And so that's why I think so many of us don't even know what our gifts are. Ideally, the way we'd all evolve is, you're a child, you're growing up, adults start noticing the things that you gravitate towards and your gifts and the things that you're really passionate about or good at, and they start celebrating you for it, and they start cultivating you to go deeper into those gifts, right? Because if we were actually doing things that way and cultivating people's gifts and encouraging their gifts, then their solar plexus chakra would just be shining out all of the time, and we would just know who we are. We wouldn't be second guessing it. We wouldn't have to do all this work to own our worth, because we would just realize our gifts are what they are and we are inherently worthy. And so with our solar plexus shut down, which a lot of people's are closed off because we weren't encouraged to embody our gifts. We were encouraged to live life a certain way based on society. I almost feel like this full moon is an opening back up of our solar plexus chakra, an opening back up of our gifts. And when I look at this card, this material harvest card, which I really feel like this full moon is about a material harvest, harvesting the wisdom, harvesting a new belief system based on us learning about ourselves and our self worth over the last almost 9 months. It's like we've been birthing a new baby. The North Node moved into Aries in July, so I don't know how many months that is. Maybe it's more than 9 months. It could be like 10 months or something. Doesn't even matter. But, yeah, what I'm seeing at this full moon is I feel like it's a releasing of what used to be in order to get connected back in with our gifts, own our gifts, and opening that solar plexus chakra back up to shine it to the world. And when we shine that solar plexus chakra to the world is when we really start reaping in the material harvest. Another thing that I see in this card is there's all this red, this like pinkish red right behind him. And what this really makes me think, I also see this in the astrology as well, is in order to shine our gifts, to shine our worthiness out to the world and offer our gifts to the world, we must be rooted and grounded in who we are. We must be embodied in our body. And with all of these planets in Taurus and this full moon happening at the second degree, Taurus is about being in the body. Taurus is about being planted and rooted into the ground. And so these aren't just like airy fairy gifts that we're coming up with, airy fairy ideas. We've been rooting these into our body over the last 6 months. It's why we've had a lot of deep healing. I think February was one of the deepest healing months of the year, astrologically, also psychically. And every healing activation we had, including the eclipse that we had back in March and April, those were also healing and clearing our root chakra. Since the last Sagittarius new moon in December, I feel like we've been really clearing out our root and solar plexus chakra, getting in touch with our uniqueness. And that's part of owning our individuality and what we're going to offer the world as we enter the age of Aquarius, as we continue to move through Pluto and Aquarius. And I almost feel like a big part of this full moon with all of these planets in Taurus too is also really tuning into what we find pleasurable, the things that we desire, the things that we naturally gravitate towards actually are meant to be part of our reality. I almost feel like this full moon can be this big awareness, this big aha of like, oh, the things I want really do want me. And I want these things for a reason. And it's not a bad thing to lean into pleasure. It's not a bad thing to lean into things that light my soul up. That is the path forward. And I almost feel like it's this big illumination, this big fat permission slip to think exactly how you want to think, to indulge in the things you really want to indulge in, and trust that they're going to lead you even deeper into your gifts. Another card that I pulled when I was preparing for this astrology transit report was I pulled Memories of Love. And I feel like another part of this full moon is really tuning into how you were as a child, the things you did for fun as a child, and using that, the things that you loved as a child, as clues for how to move forward, as clues for what you need to release. Like, for example, like I feel like when we're children, you know how children can start random businesses and they're not real businesses, they're like make believe, game playing businesses. But they're not taking them seriously, but it's just all fun and light and it's not stressful. I was thinking of that a lot today. I feel like that is a big part of this full moon because the sun is in Gemini. Gemini is about our inner child. The moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about higher wisdom, higher learning, being optimistic about the future, seeing this far out goal and having all the positivity in the world that you can get there. That's the highest vibration of Sagittarius. And I feel like a big part of this full moon is realizing the things that we found pleasurable as a child, that is key to us owning our gifts and reaching those far out dreams, reaching those far out goals, and bettering humanity. And one of the things that I can add to this is we have Mars in Aries at 18 degrees, and the Sabian symbol for 18 degrees is the owner of the hammock is active, but in his consciousness, he can hold the image of rest in the midst of re energizing nature. The concept of following the rat race of business, therefore, has no hold. Potency may be preserved and extremes avoided. Time is found for recuperation. So, what this means to me is our potency is in our being. Our potency is in relaxation. Our potency is in doing things that are pleasurable and enjoyable, but not needing to go to the extremes. I feel like this full moon is a dismantling of controlling how you do life, of thinking life has to be this one way or life has to be grasped by the balls and controlled. And I feel like a big lesson here is sometimes the best action is taken in the name of pleasure, is taken in the natural rhythm and flow of nature. We have all these benefic planets in Taurus, and Taurus is about nature. Nature doesn't grasp things by the ball and control. Nature moves slowly, nature moves at a pace. Nature is grounded in reality, right? And I think that this whole full moon is teaching us that there is a balance. It's not that you just get to completely relax and only do the things that are pleasurable for you and not give back to humanity. It's about finding the balance between this is what makes me feel like a kid. This is what I'm super curious about. This is what sparks all the things I want to learn and how I want to better humanity. And this is what fascinates me. And this is what's fun and pleasurable to me. And this is what feels adventurous to me. Versus, okay, how do I now ground this down and be excited about sharing this with humanity? How can I actually ground this into reality and make something out of this? How can I share this with the world now? Or maybe I just have to be me and share it with the world, right? It's not like selfishly hoarding all the pleasurable things for yourself and then not sharing your gifts with the world. I feel like this full moon is about finding the balance between doing the things that are pleasurable for you and giving back to the world because you found so much wisdom and experience through this pleasure in your life. And to add even on to what I just said, the North Node is at 15 degrees, which is the Sabian symbol of a typical college graduate eager to grasp at new ideas and experiences in life. It says this symbol suggests a youthful, adventurous spirit eager to engage with the world and learn from new experiences. This symbolizes a period of growth where one is eager to apply their knowledge and skills to real life situations. There's a sense of excitement and optimism about the future, as well as a willingness to embrace challenges and opportunities for growth. When I literally just gave that example of how I feel like this full moon is combining the things that are fun for us to learn about and that we're curious about to actually implementing them into the real world to better humanity, I didn't even look at my notes and realize that the North Node is also at that degree, which is saying that exact thing. So we just got the confirmation in addition to what I was just intuiting. It's also in the sky. And then lastly, we have Neptune at the 29th degree, sextiling Venus and Jupiter. This gives me world peace vibes and learning from one another in order to come to greater world peace. This is where I feel like we tie it all together. Neptune is at the 29th degree. So the 29th degree is a crisis degree. And when I think of Neptune and Pisces at this crisis degree, I think of like merging with everyone to the max, being of self service to the max, almost like we have to do it now. The time is now. Hop on it, spiritually evolve, understand that spirit is just as important as the practical realities of life, that it's yes and. And with the sextile to Venus and Jupiter, it just feels like our values and our belief systems are switching, are shifting. It's almost like we have no choice. We have to value this. We have to shift humanity. We have to go forward in this new way where we honor and cultivate our own gifts, even though it's new for humanity, even though humanity is so trained to just do the typical society way of life and keep moving forward in the same way. It's almost like all of these planets at this crisis degree are like the time is now. Go big or go home, shift your belief systems, and understand that we are moving into this new way of living life, this new way of cultivating and sharing our gifts, this new way of serving humanity, and life's not going to look the same in the coming years. And I feel like this full moon is like the precipice of that. Okay, now we can get into the horoscopes for all 12 signs. Keep in mind, these are general readings, and general readings are exactly that. They are general. So these energies can be generally present in your life, and understand that your birth chart might be making different aspects and maybe interacting with this energy slightly differently. I do these horoscopes based on your rising sign, and I use whole sign houses just so you know the house system that I'm using. And my wish for everyone listening is that you take these horoscopes and you don't just use them to hope and pray that something's going to happen in your life, but you use them as energetic currents that you get to flow with, that you get to hop into to co create your life with the universe. I'm all about co-creative astrology here. I'm not about hope and pray astrology, because I want you to actually use astrology to grow and transform and empower you in your life. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit the bell below and subscribe. And every single month, I'm doing a giveaway for a birth chart reading. So to enter the giveaway for a birth chart reading, all you have to do, like the video, make sure you subscribe, comment a heart, or whatever you want to comment that you love this video or what you learned, and you will be entered into the giveaway. As long as I can check off all 3 boxes, one person will be entered in to read a 75-minute deep dive reading with me. If you want to book a reading with me, you can look at the links below. I also have a retreat coming up in Sedona in October. It's going to be completely astrologically focused. It's basically me being your astrologer all week, where you're going to learn so much deep information into you, into your astrology. We'll be doing astrological readings the whole retreat. I'll be giving you psychic readings. We'll be hanging out. We'll be getting into our sensuality. We'll be eating good, yummy, organic, farm to table food. And every retreat I host is always so magical and full of so much deep bonding. It is women only, so I'm sorry, men. It's only for women, but you can check that link out in the description box below as well. Let's get into the horoscopes, starting with Sagittarius, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your first house of identity, your personality, how you see yourself, your direction in life, your branding. I always like to think of the first house as like how you brand yourself out in the world, because it's how you see yourself and how you present yourself. It's also the house of your physical body. So there's going to be some big release, some big shedding around who you used to be, the belief systems you used to hold, how you used to go after your big aims and goals and visions in life. And it's coming from some illumination within your one-to-one relationships. Maybe you've really learned to value yourself a lot more within your one-to-one relationships. Maybe your belief systems have shifted around your one-to-one relationships. Maybe you're valuing yourself more. And so now you're not putting up with anyone else's BS, and you're setting boundaries, and you're like, these are my values for the type of people I have in my life. And it's helping you see yourself differently and actually sit differently in your body. I feel like this full moon is really about like sitting into your worth, owning who you are, and shedding any identities of low self-worth and any identities that kind of like attract people to you based on that lower self-worth. Pluto is transforming your thinking in a really big way. It could be transforming your thinking, but it could also be transforming your local neighborhood. Maybe you're actually moving to a new neighborhood. The people in your life are a little bit different, and maybe these people are more in alignment with your values. I could also see this being a time when you start to charge more money with clients, like you're owning your worth more with clients, you're starting to believe in yourself more with clients. And so now you're able to charge more your worth. And as you're charging more of your worth, it's opening up new opportunities for you. It's almost like you're able to see your future with more clarity, and you have more of this grounded stability within your thinking. Scorpio, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your second house of self-worth, income, your financial resources, your material possessions, your skills. And what I'm seeing is it's almost like I feel like your power's being illuminated, Scorpio. You're finally seeing your power for what it is. You might be studying a lot of deeply witchy, psychological type things. Like maybe you've been learning a lot about astrology. Maybe you've been learning a lot about tarot. Maybe you've been learning a lot about different like occult things. And maybe all of these occult, witchy subjects you've been learning have been transforming you. And now it's like you want to teach these things and you have this new way of making money because you have this new sense of self-worth within you. And because you feel this new sense of self-worth, you're able to release old ways of making money and actually move forward with making money in a new and empowered way based on things that are really fun for you to learn, based on things that make your heart happy to learn, based on things that have helped you heal and transform your emotional inner world, because we have Pluto in your fourth house. It makes me think whatever new sense of self-worth, whatever new income stream that you're cultivating in your life right now has come out of some deep transformation of your mindset and your inner emotional world. For some Scorpio risings, I could see this as like a transformation in your relationship to your mother and women in general. It could be that through learning about all of these witchy things, you've really empowered yourself and you've healed your relationship with the feminine. And so now this new sense of self-worth actually comes from you integrating the feminine into your life. Okay, Libra sun, moon, and risings. Libra, this full moon is happening in your third house of how you think, your communication, your content, your small business, your local neighborhood, your extended family, and your siblings. I feel like this could be you having a new way of thinking. You've been transforming your creative self-expression. You've been transforming how you relate to creativity. And I almost feel like this full moon is shining a light on your belief systems. Your values have started to shift in regards to things that you've learned. And I feel like you're starting to think differently. You're starting to think in this more expansive way, this more optimistic way. I almost feel like Libra, you're tapping more into your intuition and your truth around this full moon. And maybe you used to really rely on learning a bunch of other people's truths, learning a bunch of other people's belief systems. And at this full moon, I feel like you're tapping more into your intuition, what you think, what you have faith in. And because you're tapping into what you have faith in, you're sharing from your truth. With Pluto in your house of creativity, I feel like you could be releasing a new podcast or releasing a book or starting a book or starting a YouTube or starting some sort of form of communication that's really stemming out of your creativity. And now you're publishing it out to the world and it's based on your new values and your new belief systems. Virgo, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your fourth house of home, family, property, real estate, pets. And it's opposite the sun, which is in your 10th house of career. Virgo, you've been shifting your belief system. Your values have been shifting in regards to your work ethic. Virgo, I feel like you're a very perfectionistic sign. You're a sign that can be kind of rigid with its rules, rigid with the way you do things. And while we love how detail oriented you are, sometimes you can almost hold yourself back by how perfectionistic you are. And I feel like the build up to this full moon, you've been really recognizing where you've been overextending yourself, where you could be more efficient, and you've been valuing your pleasure more, valuing your presence more, valuing your peace more. And I feel like this full moon is a coming home to your heart. It's almost like a big release of maybe what you've learned from your family. Maybe you learned from your family to be overly perfectionistic, to be overly rigid and always improving. And maybe you've even built your career off of that. And I almost feel like that this is your opportunity to release whatever you've picked up from your ancestry when it comes to your work ethic. And it's helping you tap more into your heart and actually create your business from your heart. Create your business from what you need emotionally. Create your business based on the life you want to live, the personal life you want to have, you know? Our career in in astrology stems out of our home life, stems out of our personal life. And I feel like you're about to be moving forward in your career in this whole new way. And you're going to grow and expand a lot and probably make a lot more money by honoring your heart and honoring your emotional needs. Pluto in the sixth house, it's transforming your day to day. It's transforming how you are of service. And I just feel like what you're realizing is you don't need to overgive and overserve and just always be improving in order to be recognized in your public life. And actually, a lot of your power that comes from being recognized in your career just comes from you owning your value. It doesn't come from how much work you do, it comes from you owning your value. And I feel like this full moon is really illuminating that. Leo, sun, moon, and risings. Okay, this full moon is happening in your fifth house of creativity, of self expression, of children, of your inner child, of entrepreneurship, gambling, and all that fun stuff. Okay, Leo, I feel like you're starting to think of your hopes and dreams in a whole new way. Like the types of visions you have for your future and the things you want to build and the way you want to give back to humanity is shifting. You're recognizing you need this to be fun and pleasure. This needs to be a creative self expression that's coming from your heart. The types of people that you associate with and the groups that you really want to be a part of, they must be in alignment with your heart. They must be in alignment with what's pleasurable for you. And the thing that you're building towards, the career you want to leave, has to be in alignment with your value. You're owning your worth more out in your career, out in the public, because we have Jupiter and Venus in your 10th house in Taurus. And it's through owning your worth and your value out in your career that's helping you shift your hopes and dreams. It's like, I used to think I wanted these things. I used to value myself in this way, but now that I value myself in this new way and I've been really anchoring into myself, my belief systems, and who I am, these are now my new hopes and dreams. And going forward, these new hopes and dreams, they have to be fun for me. They have to come from my creative self-expression and they have to be in flow. With Pluto in your seventh house, it also makes me think that you're just not going to take, like if you're a business owner, for example, I feel like you're just not going to take shit from other people anymore. You're really transforming your relationship to other people in your life. And based on these new values, it could be that some people are going to come with you on these new hopes and dreams and other people aren't. And you just can't go against your values anymore because it's becoming so clear what your new values are that you're not just going to go take a client for the sake of taking a client and making money. You're not just going to keep doing your business and career the way you've always done it because it's not in alignment with what's fun and it's not feeling creative for you and it's not really where your hopes and dreams are anymore anyways. So this could also be in dating for Leos. It could be that you have this whole new like checkbox for someone that you want to date, like this list that you have for who you're going to date. And the people you date has to hit those new values. It has to hit your new self-perceived feeling of self-worth. You're not the person you used to be. You're this new worthy person who's owning their values. And now you have this new checklist for the people you want to date. And maybe you're dating someone right now that doesn't exactly fit that checklist and they have to go. Or maybe you actually get presented with someone who is exactly the person who would fit this new checklist. And because you find a person who's like exactly in alignment with the type of person you want to date, this could help you release other people out of your life. Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your sixth house of daily routines, work, health, pets, being of service, rental agreements. Okay, you've had the North Node in your 10th house in Aries. Over the last 6 months, you've really been dialing into what you want in career. You've been really learning to own you, boo, and not keep the peace. This could be a time when you've been really indecisive about your work and your routines. It could be that you've had a self sabotaging pattern when it comes to your work. Maybe you're trying to get this new career off the ground, but you keep sabotaging yourself because you don't know enough or you're not making a decision. And I feel like this full moon is like, that's it. I'm putting the work in. I'm taking on this new routine. I'm putting in the tangible work. And this could be like an unraveling of any self sabotaging behavior that you've had when it comes to your day to day routines and your work. And whatever it is, it's deeply transformative and it's helping you break free and it's helping you move forward in your career in this whole new way and really own who you truly are. Like maybe you've been sabotaging yourself because there's all these opinions of all these other people and you're finally releasing that and being like, what do I need to improve? It almost feels like this full moon is illuminating where you've held on too much to the facts from other people, from learning from other people. And it's like, enough with all the facts, enough with all learning all these things from all these other people. What do you believe? What do you want to believe in? What do you want to rest your faith in? How do you want to spend your day to day? Screw other people. What career do you want to build? Hey, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Risings. This full moon is taking place in your seventh house of your one-to-one relationships, marriages, business partners, best friends, and your open enemies and contractual agreements. Gemini, I feel like you could be releasing someone from your life. If you've felt like you really needed to be there for certain people in your life, but they're no longer in alignment with your values, and you're kind of just doing these things for these people, and it could be like an old self-sabotaging pattern that you have when it comes to other people in your life. And I feel like whatever it is, your values are shifting. There's some big breakthrough when it comes to your subconscious patterns and any self sabotaging behavior you have. And at this full moon, you're saying no more to other people in your life, blocking you from having the direction and the life goals that you want to have. Geminis, I feel like you're really owning your hopes and dreams at this full moon, and anyone who gets in the way of your hopes and dreams has to go. And I almost feel like when you release those people from your life, someone new is going to come in from out of the blue, someone that you didn't expect, and you're going to be able to move forward with this new sense of self-worth, this new sense of being able to see your future in a new way. And I think it's going to be really positive for you. I don't know why this is coming up. I almost feel like Geminis, this could be healing of an abandonment wound too. Like you're owning your worth more, you're not self-sabotaging yourself. And when I think of our one-to-one relationships and self-sabotaging ourselves, I see a lot of people sabotage themselves when they have big abandonment wounds to heal. When we have a big abandonment wound to heal, it's like we're so afraid of being abandoned that we end up pushing people away until they abandon us because we try to force and control them. And I feel like your belief systems are shifting and you're recognizing, oh, it's not that I'm a person who's abandonable. It's actually that I've been pushing people away out of fear of them abandoning me. Taurus and Taurus rising. This full moon is happening in your eighth house of death, rebirth, transformation, big chunky money, the occult, taboo, taxes, and all that jazz. Okay, Taurus, I feel like you could have like a big debt that you're paying off. I feel like you've crunched all of the numbers on a debt you wanted to pay off, and now you're like having this new sense of being actually able to pay off this debt. And so you could be paying off a debt at this full moon. For some Tauruses, I feel like this could be about your physical body and feeling worthy in your physical body, just because we have Jupiter and Venus in your first house, and we've had Jupiter in your first house all year, which can expand the body. It can make us gain weight when we have Jupiter in the first house. So I don't know why this is coming to me, but I feel like for some Tauruses, maybe you've been feeling like you've gained a lot of weight, and in the past you would have felt really bad about gaining all of that weight. But it's almost like you've had to sit with this fact that you've gained this weight, and you're feeling into it, and it feels painful at first, but it's almost like during this full moon, you're recognizing like, no, I've been owning my value so much more. I've been really nourishing myself. I've been feeding myself really nourishing, delicious food. And I love this lifestyle. And I almost feel like you might be learning new ways of nourishing yourself and coming to new self acceptance around your belief system when it comes to your body, and new self acceptance when it comes to controlling all the food that you eat, and almost like new self-acceptance to your value, and really learning to appreciate how you're seen in the public, and almost like owning this new body that you've gained. I don't know who this is going to resonate for, but for any Taurus risings that gained weight over the last year, I feel like this energy could be coming to terms and self-acceptance around the weight you gained, and actually recognizing you value this and it's part of your values now, and you're not ashamed of gaining weight, and you're owning this shit out of it, and it's actually something you now want to share with the world. Aries, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your ninth house of publishing, your belief systems, your faith, your spirituality, long distance travel. Aries, this specific scenario is coming to mind. I feel like you've been learning something new. Maybe because Saturn's been in your 12th house, maybe you've been diving deeper into spirituality and deeper into your faith, and you've been shifting your thinking. Maybe you've been learning, I don't know, about prayer and how incorporating prayer into your life. And I feel like this could be a time, Aries, where it's like you've been learning something new based on all that solitude you've been spending, that time alone you've been spending. And through what you've been learning, you're now releasing some sort of course out into the universe. So this could be like, I've learned all of these new spiritual things. Now I'm going to release this course out to the world. Or I've been learning all of these things in my alone time. I'm going to release this course out to the world. This could also be, Aries, like you really taking a step up to share your belief systems with the world and like share your thinking with the world. I keep getting this image that you live in some sort of community because you got Pluto in your house of community. I feel like you've been getting involved with new communities that have been more in alignment with the things you've been learning. And now you're sharing the things you've been learning out to the world. I could also see this being for some Aries. Maybe you're like part of a new community. Your community has been transforming. You're getting involved in this new community. And now, with all these new people that you're associating with, it's like this new opportunity to travel. This could also be where you're recognizing like your home where you're living is not the spot anymore. It's not helping you grow and expand, and it's almost becoming too small for your thinking, and you're wanting to expand your thinking. So I could see this full moon almost being a time when you're planning on moving away from home and wanting to explore and maybe even be nomadic and really gain new experiences that are going to help direct, shift and shape your hopes and dreams. I feel like for some Aries, it's like you don't really know exactly what you want to do, but you know you just need to get out of your local community and travel somewhere and like figure it out and gain new experiences. Okay, Pisces, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your 10th house of career. Pisces, I feel like you could be relating to your home and family in a whole new way. Maybe your family stepping up and helping you with something. Maybe you're stepping out in a new career, Pisces, a new public image. I feel like you could be breaking free in your thinking, and you might have used to value a certain type of career, and you're recognizing that you've actually been keeping yourself stuck in this career and it's been sabotaging you, and that career might have been part of your old vision, and that holding on to it is just not helping you. So I feel like you might be releasing a career, Pisces, and really going towards a career that more so honors your heart and your emotional needs. And you're really becoming aware of what you need emotionally, what you need to feel supported, how you want to be out in the world in your career. Because this is also in the houses of the father and the mother, I feel like this could be a realignment of your masculine and feminine energies. Maybe you're realizing where you've been way too masculine and go, go, go when it comes to reaching your goals. And it's being illuminated to you that that's not helping you feel good emotionally, and it's not coming from your heart. And what you're realizing is you actually need to honor your heart more and learn more things that are going to make you feel emotionally secure and safe at home. And through making yourself more emotionally secure and safe at home, it's helping you break free in your thinking and kind of shift your career and go into a career that's more aligned with your values. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. This full moon is happening in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes, and friendships and group associations. You could be releasing an association to a group of people. Maybe you're a teacher of this certain group of people and you've always taught this type of person, and you're realizing that's not your authentic self-expression anymore. That's not what makes your heart happy. That's not what you value in your heart anymore. And I almost feel like you could be releasing an old hope and dream for something that's more fun, that's more in alignment with your authentic self expression. It could be that you're getting in touch with your truest authentic self expression, and maybe you're realizing you have a lot more motherly, divine, feminine energy than you realize with all of this, with Jupiter and Venus in your 4th house of the divine mother. And maybe you're recognizing, oh, my hopes and dreams have to be in alignment with this new identity I have. And actually my new values that I have. And it has to be based out of my truest authentic self expression. So you could be releasing a hope and dream that you really wanted to hold on to. And now you're stepping into a new dream that you want to be a part of, a new group of people you want to work with that's more in alignment with your authentic self-expression. Capricorn, sun, moon, and risings. This full moon is happening in your 12th house of spirituality, the unconscious, karmic endings, self-sabotaging behaviors, hospitals, and basically dissolution of the ego. So I feel like for Capricorn risings, this is a possibly like a breakthrough in mental health. Maybe you've been trying to improve yourself. Maybe you felt far away from your authentic self, like your authentic self was buried underneath all of these self-sabotaging behaviors and possibly even mental health issues. And I feel like this is like the light shining through on your mental health, Capricorn. You've been learning new ways to improve yourself, learning new ways to ground yourself in your daily life. And it's helping you undo some of those self sabotaging behaviors and actually be able to reshape how you look at your mental health and then reshape how your mental health then influences your day to day. This could be a shedding away of where you've been over responsible in your life or over critical of yourself. And because you've been over critical, it's been making you not be able to ground anything down into reality or be really inconsistent with your day to day and your work. And I feel like this could be a releasing of that overcriticalness. This could also be releasing self sabotaging and addictive behaviors. The 12th house rules addictions. Maybe you became addicted to something or you struggle with some sort of addiction. And this is a big breakthrough where you're recognizing you relied on addiction to give you pleasure, to give you joy, to connect with your inner child. And you're actually recognizing, oh, the way I connect with my inner child is by transforming my self worth and literally just owning who the fuck I am, owning my self expression, owning my creativity, and owning my value within that. Okay. This was the horoscope for all 12 signs. Let me know if you're horoscope related in the comments below. And I want to remind you, everyone who comments on this video, likes this video, and subscribes to my channel, I am picking one person to win a deep dive 75-minute reading with me every single month. It's going to help me grow this channel and get this channel out to more people. If you want to book a deep dive reading with me to make sure you get a reading, you can go to the link below in the description box. If you want to check out my retreat I have coming up, that's also in the description box below. And I'll see you guys on the next video.